This is Alex, your host for today. Now we will be giving you the latest hot topics for EOS and other currencies. Now for breaking news, South Africa and crypto, a conservatively optimistic approach. Now we'll find out more about this one in a bit. Second topic for today, EOS Royale will be releasing more games soon, so watch out for that, okay? Now, later on, I will be giving you a quick tour on the site. So, first, maybe right now you are already asking yourself, why would I want to hear about this news or particular topic? Why? Because you need to be updated and know the current issues and news about EOS and other currencies, right? You're interested. Now, why is it important for me to know about this now? Just simple for you to make decisions on what to do next and what to expect. Alright, so I'm not sure if we are sharing the same thoughts or we have the same thoughts right now, but what is important is that you're watching this video to have the latest news and updates of EOS and other currencies. So just sit back, listen, and relax. So I want to thank everyone for watching this video. Okay, so again, for today's news, this is brought to you by PCN, or Preferred Currency News. South Africa and crypto, a conservatively optimistic approach. Now, blockchain and cryptocurrencies have proliferated the minds of millions across the world as trading and crypto asset ownership continues to rise. In the same breath, many countries across the world have taken a tough stance against cryptocurrencies in particular. Some, like China, have outlawed their use, while others like Malta are at the forefront of cryptocurrency and blockchain development. In an African context, this sector is slowly growing. At the southern end of the continent, South Africa sits in an interesting position. So as one of the bigger economic hubs of Africa, it has the potential to lead the way in terms of blockchain development and cryptocurrency adoption. With that being said, it's worth considering what the current climate is like in the country and what efforts are being made to drive innovation and acceptance of this burgeoning new industry. Wow, fast developing. Now, the tax man. Cryptocurrency trading has become immensely popular over the past 2 years, as was demonstrated in the latter half of 2017, when Bitcoin and a number of altcoins cruised to all-time highs. During this period, plucky investors flocked to the market in the hopes of cashing in on a spiraling bull run that made many early investors substantial sums of money. Across the world, cryptocurrency exchanges were inundated with the new users looking to open up accounts and get their hands on the increasingly valuable Bitcoin and the like. Some people made massive profits while others were left watching their investment decline in value during the resulting correction. That didn't change the fact that the tax man wanted his pound of flesh from those that had cashed in their profits. This was the case in South Africa, where the South African Revenue Services, or simply called SARS, made it clear to registered taxpayers and they would be liable to pay tax on cryptocurrency gains. Now, how is crypto classified in South Africa? As the source pointed out, the word currency is not defined in the Income Tax Act. It's important for people to understand this because it means that cryptocurrencies themselves are not taxable. Again, cryptocurrencies themselves are not taxable. So cryptocurrencies, as quoted, cryptocurrencies are neither official South African tender nor widely used and accepted in South Africa as a medium of payment or exchange. As such, cryptocurrencies are not regarded by SARS as a currency for income tax purposes or capital gains tax, or CGT. Instead, Cryptocurrencies are regarded by SARS as assets of an intangible nature. However, the value of a given amount of cryptocurrency can be valued in South African rands, and any income received or accrued from cryptocurrency trading can be taxed under the laws of gross income. Simply put, South Africans that are actively trading cryptocurrency will be liable to pay tax on any income made. So don't stress, it's legal. Alright, now in a South African context, the use of cryptocurrencies is legal. Wow, that's good to hear. Now there are no laws governing the sector, although the South African Reserve Bank, or SARB, is monitoring the situation. The Reserve Bank issued a white paper outlining its views on cryptocurrencies in 2014. The institution does not recognize any cryptocurrency as legal tender. In South Africa, the Reserve Bank has the sole right to issue and manage money in the form of banknotes and coins. As such, cryptocurrencies fall outside the jurisdiction of the Reserve Bank. In layman's terms, the Reserve Bank doesn't view cryptocurrencies as an alternative to fiat currency. In fact, it doesn't view them as legitimate currencies at all. In that very document, the SARB went as far to say that cryptocurrencies won't pose any threat to the South African rand or financial institutions. As quoted again, given the current landscape and information currently available, the bank contends the VCs pose no significant risk to financial stability, price stability, or the national payment system. Task Force looking at crypto. Given that the SARB's first report on cryptocurrencies is nearly 5 years old, the institution has since launched a fintech task group that will handle cryptocurrency and fintech developments in the country. As it was given the case around the world, investor protection has been a big concern amid the inherent risk of investing in cryptocurrencies and initial coin offerings, or what we call ICOs. Now, this self-regulatory body will be allowed to set up its own rules and directives while looking to balance crypto and blockchain development in the country with risk prevention. In the initial announcement last April 2018, SARB Director of Banking Practice Bridget King said a major hurdle has to do with timelines and the dangers of imposing regulations that could stifle the growth of the sector. Regulating cryptocurrencies prematurely could have the negative consequence of throttling the growth and innovation of the industry. In addition, if laws are drafted based on existing technology, which is still in its growth phase, there's a risk that the technology may have moved so much by the time the legislation is enacted, that the legislation is obsolete or requires updating almost immediately to align with the latest technology. In May 2018, the SARB made it clear that it still doesn't classify cryptocurrencies as money. Deputy Governor of the bank, Francois Gropi, explained that reasoning behind their classification and choice of terminology. As quoted, "We don't use the term cryptocurrency because it doesn't meet the requirements of money in the economic sense of stable means of exchange, a unit of measure and a stable unit of value. We prefer to use the word cyber token." Now this is part and parcel of why the SARB created its fintech task group. Gropi said that the bank wants to make sure that cryptocurrencies and their trade are still adhering to South African laws. Now, we want to ensure or establish whether there is still compliance with the relevant financial surveillance or exchange control regulation. Okay, so here, reserve a bank test pilot blockchain payment system or project COCA. In addition to establishing this regulatory body of South African crypto industry, the SARB has also forged ahead with a proof of concept for a blockchain-based payment system. Project COCA has been tested and in June 2018, a report was released. The system was built using JP Morgan's Quorum platform and providing participating parties actual experience using blockchain technology in a safe test environment. According to the report, the daily volume of the South African payment system could be processed in less than 2 hours. Along with this, transactions would remain completely confidential and will be completely settled. Transactions were processed within 2 seconds by a network of nodes in different locations using distributed consensus. Furthermore, the SARB was able to view the details of transactions, ensuring regulatory oversight for their own purposes. The project was mainly aimed at giving the SARB and various participants a first-hand look at how blockchain technology could help streamline payment systems. While no official blockchain-based payment system has been launched from the proof of concept, the exercise has provided first-hand experience of the capabilities of distributed ledger technology and how it could possibly improve the current South African payment system. Now, one objective of the project COCA is to provide a better understanding of how South African multiple option settlement, or they call SAMAS, system would integrate with a DLT system. The intention is not to consider changing the approach with the SAMAS replacement, but to provide input to the project. Alright, now a waiting game. A waiting game regulation is somewhat of a double-edged sword. It has the power to both promote and nurture, as well as stifle and strangle. When it comes to cryptocurrencies, the second scenario is a real concern. Alright, so this is why in a South African context, a slow and methodical approach to cryptocurrency regulation is a definite positive. Now, as King suggested above, rushing to regulate prematurely could hamper the development of the industry in the country. If anything, South Africans should be encouraged by the SARB's FinTech Working Group and the outcome of Project COCA's report on the uses of blockchain-based payment systems. While we may not see any clear-cut legislation or a regulation on the sector soon, the fact that the SARB is making a concerted effort to research the possibilities of blockchain technology is positive. Alright, so that's it for today's breaking news. Again, this is a good news for everyone, right? South Africa and crypto, a conservatively optimistic approach. Alright, so for a second that I want to show you, I promised you earlier that I will be touring you for the EOS Royal. So here, you can visit the website EOS Royal. Oh, by the way, if you want to get more news or be updated in every news every day, you can always subscribe to our website. It's preferredcurrency.news here. Welcome to preferredcurrency.news. Now be the first one to get notified of the new updates, so you can always subscribe. Alright? Now, using your preferred method, you can pay $15 per month fiat, or use the Coinbase option shown below. here, okay, for only $180 annual subscription to be paid with crypto. All right, so here, now going back, I will be touring you around the site of EOS Royale. So as you can see here, you can visit www.eosroyale.com, and they will be releasing more games soon, so watch out for that, right? So there is an available game right now. It's the EOS Royale Roulette. So it's a European roulette. It's just the first game. We will launch many more new games in the near future. So the EOS platform is great for creating this type of game. We will not create such primitive games as dice or lottery. We will make really powerful games. Wow, I'm excited for that. So this games will be new for me. So I'm really excited to check this out. Now, EOS Royale, true decentralized games powered by EOS. Now, the available game here on this website, which is the EOS Roulette. Okay, this one, EOS Royale Roulette. There are two ways to play the game. Here you can try it now. You can press this one, or you can scroll down and then go to this part of the website and then click play now. So I've already tried it earlier. So this one, as you can see, ta-da! This is the EOS Royale Roulette. Now, I'm not really sure because it's my first time to play this one, right? I think it's just it's the same with the casino, with the roulette and casino. For those who want to play conveniently, you can just visit their site, right, and play this EOS Roulette. So here, you can bet, you can win. Wow, I think this is an exciting game. Alright, awaiting bets, 6 seconds remaining. Alright, so, moving forward, here, more games coming soon, like blackjack, roulette, it's already available. Slot machine, wow, so fun, I'm excited. So guys, watch out for that. More games to come in eosroyale.com. So if you'd like to have fun, then you can visit their site.